No one could believe it when Sam Heughan finally said the words fans never expected to hear. For years, we've watched him as the heart and soul of Outlander, the charming, fearless Jamie Fraser, a role that defined an era of television and built one of the most loyal fandoms in the world. But this time, it wasn't Jamie speaking. It was Sam himself, and what he revealed left the Outlander community speechless. It began quietly, almost too quietly for something so huge. A cryptic post, a few words that seemed simple. Every story has its seasons. Maybe it's time for a new one. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Tweets, reactions, headlines, all asking the same question. Was Sam Heughan saying goodbye to Outlander? At first, people didn't want to believe it. It must be a teaser for the next season, some said. Others were in denial. He can't leave. Jamie Fraser is Outlander. But as hours passed, Sam's statement grew heavier. It wasn't a marketing trick. It was real. He was ready for change. Fans all over the world felt an ache, the kind that comes when something beautiful is about to end. After more than a decade of seeing him embody Jamie's passion, courage, and vulnerability, the thought of Outlander without Sam was unthinkable. Memes flooded Twitter, tributes filled TikTok, and even co-stars posted nostalgic photos with quiet, emotional captions. But as we looked closer, maybe this moment was inevitable. Fame, after all, can be both a gift and a cage. Sam Heughan has always been more than a character, a man of ambition, creativity, and depth. Yet the more successful Outlander became, the more he became trapped in Jamie Fraser's shadow. Fans adored him, but they also expected him to stay the same, forever young, forever brave, forever Jamie. And perhaps that's what broke through his calm exterior this time. Maybe the unbelievable news wasn't just about leaving a show, maybe it was about reclaiming himself. We've seen the clues for months. In interviews, Sam spoke more openly about his exhaustion, about how intense the filming schedule was, how emotionally demanding the role had become. There were moments when his smile faltered, and you could sense a quiet weight behind his words. He often said, "Jamie will always be a part of me," but lately, he added something new. "But I have other stories to tell." Those 7 words, other stories to tell, hit differently now. It's not hard to imagine what he must have felt standing there, knowing millions would be heartbroken. That's the cruel beauty of fame. The higher you rise, the harder it is to change direction without disappointing someone. For years, Sam gave everything to Outlander. His body, his time, his emotions. But now, he seems ready to give something to himself. And maybe that's what makes this news so shocking, not because he's walking away, but because he's finally walking towards something new. Still, fans can't help but feel the sting. The bond between Sam and the audience was never just about acting, it was emotional. We lived through Jamie's battles, his heartbreaks, his love for Claire, and through it all, Sam made it real. He wasn't just performing, he was giving us a piece of his soul. Now, as he takes that soul somewhere else, we can't help but feel a mix of pride and loss. The kind you feel when someone you love chooses to follow their heart, even if it means letting go of what you shared. The studio has yet to release an official statement. Caitríona Balfe, his co-star and longtime friend, has remained silent, perhaps out of respect, perhaps out of understanding. Because if anyone knows what this decision means for Sam, it's her. Together, they built something that transcended television, a legacy, a world, a bond that fans believed in. But every legacy must evolve. Every story, no matter how beloved, reaches a turning point. So maybe this isn't an ending after all. Maybe it's a transformation, one that will redefine not just Sam Heughan's career, but his identity as an artist. Still, one question remains. What really led him to this moment? Was it burnout, a new dream, or something more personal? Something we've all overlooked while focusing on his fame? As the noise of the headlines fades, one truth begins to surface. Behind that composed smile, there's a man who's been carrying the weight of expectation for far too long. And now, finally, he's ready to set it down. But before we understand where he's going next, we must understand what this decision truly cost him. Because behind every unbelievable headline lies a story far more human and far more heartbreaking than we imagine. Behind every shocking headline, there's a heartbeat, quiet, steady, human. And for Sam Heughan, that heartbeat has always been the true rhythm behind his success. The cameras show us the hero, confident, brave, romantic. But once the lights fade, and the applause softens, there's a man who has spent years trying to live up to a version of himself that the world demanded. It's easy to forget that fame doesn't come free. For Sam, it came with 10 years of long days on set, countless interviews, physical exhaustion, and the constant need to stay perfect. Outlander wasn't just a job, it was a life lived in public view. Every emotion, every word, every relationship was analyzed, judged, and sometimes twisted. And yet, through it all, Sam stayed gracious. He smiled, gave his time to fans, promoted charities, and stayed loyal to the story that made him a global icon. But even the strongest hearts can grow tired. Those who have followed him closely noticed subtle changes over the past year, a certain stillness in his interviews, a reflective tone in his social media posts. He spoke more often about balance, peace, and finding joy outside of fame. In one moment that many fans overlooked, he said quietly, "You can love something deeply and still know when it's time to move on." That, perhaps, was the real clue. Because walking away from Outlander isn't rejection, it's release. After all, how long can anyone live as someone else before craving the space to simply be themselves again? Sam's decision, as unbelievable as it seemed, was born not from frustration, but from evolution. He's no longer just Jamie Fraser. He's a man who's ready to explore new creative horizons. Producing, writing, acting in roles that challenge him differently. For him, change isn't betrayal. It's growth. But behind this growth lies pain. Because for Sam, Outlander wasn't just a career, it was a family. The cast, the crew, the fans, they've been with him through every high and low. He's often said that the show changed his life. And it did. It gave him purpose, identity, and connection. Letting that go means losing a part of himself too. Caitríona Balfe, his co-star, knows this better than anyone. Their bond, built over years of working side by side, became something that transcended screen chemistry. She once described their relationship as trust in its purest form. It's no surprise, then, that as Sam steps away, her silence speaks volumes. There's understanding in that silence. Maybe even pride, because she knows, as all true friends do, that sometimes love means letting someone go chase their next horizon. For fans, though, the emotional weight feels heavier. Outlander has been more than a show. It's been a safe place, a community built on passion and shared emotion. Sam's presence has anchored that world. His absence will be felt like the final page of a favorite book. But endings, as we've learned from Outlander itself, aren't always final. They're often beginnings in disguise. As rumors swirl about his next project, perhaps a new film, or a venture into producing, one thing is certain. Sam isn't running away from the past. He's honoring it by daring to grow beyond it. And maybe that's the message he wants his fans to understand. Because beneath the fame, the muscles, and the Hollywood polish, Sam Heughan has always been something more, an artist driven by purpose. A man who knows that the truest form of courage isn't fighting battles on screen, but facing the unknown in real life. Imagine the moment he made the decision, maybe alone, maybe late at night, staring at a script that once made his heart race. The realization that it no longer did must have hit like quiet thunder. Change rarely comes with applause. It comes with a deep breath, a heavy heart, and a whisper that says, "It's time." And so, as he steps forward into the next chapter, we're reminded of why we admired him in the first place. Not because he played a hero, but because he is one. The kind who doesn't cling to comfort, but walks bravely toward uncertainty. The unbelievable news, in the end, isn't just that Sam Heughan is leaving something behind. It's that he's daring to begin again, to write new stories, to redefine himself, and to remind us all that even legends must evolve. Because true courage doesn't come from holding on. It comes from knowing when to let go.